All right, let's dive right into the Jester and the Guardian, because today we're looking at one of my favorite encounters, a truly profound philosophical duel. We're talking two absolute, totally opposing forces going head to head.
And boom, the story just throws us right in with this challenge from the Horned Guardian. Think about the scene. The Jester, this whirlwind of chaos and motion, just walks into the Mirkwood Primeval, this super ancient, sacred place. You can just feel the tension, right? The clash is instant.
Okay, so this isn't just some casual meeting in the woods. You have to remember where the Jester is coming from. He's just been through these cold, ego-negating mountains, right? So this encounter, this is the first real test of his entire philosophy. He's finally face-to-face with someone who is his complete opposite, his co-equal. This is a huge moment. And this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? The core conflict. You've got the Jester. He's all about chaos, motion, change. A wanderer. Then you've got the Horned Guardian. He's the complete opposite. He's about order, being rooted, pure stability. I mean, 10,000 seasons. He's not going anywhere. It's the ultimate showdown between movement and stillness.
So what's really going on here? Well, it's not a physical fight. Not yet, anyway. This is a battle of ideas. What's at stake is, well, everything. It's the very definition of what it means to be sovereign, what it means to be a self. The text has this great term for it, the absolute ich, a fancy way of saying the absolute I. This is deep stuff.
All right, let's break this down. First up, the Jester's dancing eye. We're going to dig into his side of the argument, which is all about one thing: constant, relentless motion. So the Jester's whole deal, his power source, if you will, is this idea of absolute activity. What does that even mean? Well, for him, the self isn't a thing, it's an action. It's pure, endless creation and striving. To be sovereign, in his eyes, means you have to be the verb, not the noun. You're always in a state of becoming, never just being. And this quote is just wow. This is him throwing down the gauntlet. He looks at the Guardian's 10,000 seasons of endurance and calls it a slow form of stasis. Ouch. He's saying that true selfhood, true sovereignty, isn't about being the solid, unmovable oak. No way. It's about being the storm that rattles the oak to its very roots. So let's put it all together. What is the Jester's philosophy? He's a prophet of becoming. He uses his will to deconstruct things, to tear them down. He even calls his laughter a pruning hook. I love that metaphor. His whole job, as he sees it, is to remind the world that nothing is set in stone. Everything is free to change. Or, to fall apart. Okay, so that's the Jester. But what about the Guardian? Let's flip the coin and look at the Guardian's rooted eye. His power comes from the complete opposite idea: deep, unshakable rootedness. So where the Jester's eye is always in motion, the Guardian's is all about synthesis. He's not this lone ego fighting against the world. Instead, he has perfectly fused himself, his eye, with the world around him, the not eye of the forest. He's become so intertwined with his domain that you can't tell where one ends and the other begins. And this is his big argument. Real power isn't about tearing things down. It's about building things. It's about constitution. Creating and sustaining a world by becoming part of it. And that zinger he throws at the Jester, can your laughter grow a single leaf? Man, that just cuts right to the heart of their disagreement, doesn't it? So yeah, that's the Guardian in a nutshell. He's the sovereign of being. His will is used to constitute, to build, to create order. He's endured for millennia because his strength comes from that deep, unshakable foundation, not from zipping all over the place like the Jester. This chart really sums it up perfectly. You have the two sovereigns, the Jester, the dancing itch, whose principle is becoming, whose method is deconstruction, and whose metaphor is the wind or the storm. Then you have the Guardian, the rooted itch. His principle is being, his method is constitution, and his metaphor is the soil or the oak. It's a perfect philosophical opposition. So you've got absolute chaos on one side and absolute order on the other. How on earth can these two possibly coexist? It feels like they're just destined to cancel each other out, right? Well, you'd think so, but their conversation takes this really fascinating turn. And that brings us to the resolution, or something like it, this idea of a divisible unity. It's actually the Jester who has this incredible moment of insight. He basically reframes their whole conflict. He realizes they're not enemies. Not really. They're like the north and south poles of a magnet. Two opposite but totally necessary parts of one bigger reality, the absolute.
And once they see that, they realize they actually need each other. It's a profound dependency. The Guardian's order provides the stage, or the dance floor, for the Jester's performance. Without that floor, the dance is meaningless. But without the Jester's chaos, the Guardian's perfect order becomes stagnant, a tomb. It's a beautiful, symbiotic relationship.
But okay, this newfound alliance isn't just about them having a nice philosophical chat and agreeing to disagree. No, it's forged for a very specific and honestly a pretty terrifying purpose. The Guardian, being so connected to the forest, he sees what's coming, a herd of Vikings. And he knows these guys aren't going to stop for a debate about Fichtean philosophy. They're just going to see a forest full of resources to be plundered. Timber for fires, gold for their necks. Simple as that. So what do? They decide to team up and teach these Vikings a little lesson. They call it conceptual deconstruction. I love that. So here's the plan. The Guardian will play his part as the not I, the unmovable physical reality that will literally break their spears. And the Jester, he'll be the I, the chaotic force that gets inside their heads and completely breaks their mind. And this final quote just brings it all home. They've found a new shared understanding of what power really is. True sovereignty isn't sitting on a throne, a high seat. It's found in that wild, messy, dangerous space where opposing forces meet, where the oak meets the axe and the fool meets the beast. It's in the clash itself. So the chapter ends by setting up this incredibly powerful and kinda unsettling new dynamic. And it leaves us, the reader, with this massive question to chew on. When you take absolute order and absolute chaos and unite them against a common enemy, what in the world have you just unleashed?